You're watching NFL Daily, and we are live here on Chat Sports. Coming up on our show today, we're going to get into the latest news and rumors like Laviska Shenault Jr., wide receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's just been traded to the Carolina Panthers. We'll talk about all that kind of stuff. We got two mailbags on tap, and in fact, the way that today's show is going to go, I'm going to do a mailbag. I'm going to get into the news and rumors. Then we're going to get into another mailbag, and then we're going to head over to Rumble for some NFL cut and trade candidates that might end up getting dealt when you think about the 53-man rosters that are, you got to get down by 4 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. That's all coming up here on today's show. So yesterday, there was some pretty eye-popping news out there around Commanders running back Brian Robertson, and unfortunately he was, shot. He's okay. He posted a picture on Instagram saying that the surgery went well. So all I guys want you to do right now, because this is what Chat Sports is about, is type some BRs there in the comments, because anytime something like this happens, it makes me appreciate life in general. Like the fact that you can wake up every day, do what you are trying to do, you go through all these things, and then it makes you think of like when you have a bad day, maybe it really wasn't all that bad. This was a young man who I thought was going to be the leading rusher this upcoming season for the Commanders. I don't know if he ends up playing this season, but it's just good to know that he's alive, that the surgery, that everything went really, really well. So I got Kyle, Junior, Shron, Marcel. Seriously, spam BR right now down in the comments section. Chalua, King Seahawk. We're going to be giving shout-outs here on NFL Daily. So one of the topics of discussion here is a lot of times when you get down to 53-man roster cuts, reports start coming out. And reports of, this player could be traded, this player could be traded, this player could be traded. I'm always a big believer that a lot of times NFL GMs or NFL teams in general, they try to leak these, I'm going to call them fake rumors, in hopes that another NFL team might be like, oh, crap. If somebody else is going to trade for him, we got to go trade for him. When, in fact, they're probably just going to get cut. So, on today's show, I'm giving you 10 names that are cut and trade candidates. Before I reveal those, I want you to name a player right now that you believe could be traded. And if this is the first time you've come across one of our Chat Sports shows, this is what I like to call the build-up. We're going to let the audience build up here. Then we'll get into the mailbag. Then we'll get into the NFL news and rumors. I know how life is. Sometimes it's busy. You get that notification, which you're like, man, I got to finish walking the dog, and then I'll get to NFL Daily. That's how it goes around here. So we got an Alex Leatherwood from Juan Hernandez. Juan, what's up, my guy? Darius Slayton from Junior Estrada. We have Seattle should try to get Jimmy G from Christopher. Sony Michel from Unk Panther Sports. Sony Michel was actually just released by the Miami Dolphins like 30 minutes ago. Another one's coming in from Leatherwood. We got Jimmy G from Christopher, Chalua, Jimmy G, Bob Smith. What up, my guy? Sarah Otto also is going to go with Alex Leatherwood. So we will be breaking down tons and tons of names here on today's show. Today is National Lemon Day. And I know you're watching NFL Daily, but I like to ask these kind of questions. If you had to pick one, are you going to pick a lemon? Or you got to pick a lime? Now, personally, I do think it matters of what the situation is. Like, if I'm going to eat tacos, I'm getting a lime. However, water, I'm probably going to take a lemon. But let's just say in a crazy, crazy world, you have to pick one, and you got to have that for the rest of your life, with whether it's food, whether it's water, drinks, whatever it may be. What are you picking, lemon or lime? Kyle says lemon. I'm Punchy 33 is going to go lime. Junior, lemon. Bob Smith, lime. I'll tell you this. Before I met my girlfriend, I probably would have said lemon, but I feel like if I didn't have any limes in the house now, she'd leave me. Man, we go through like 20 limes a week. That's not an exaggeration. You can probably guess what her nationality is, but it's the truth, Jack. It's the truth. I never had as many limes as I had in my entire life until I started dating a Latina woman. But you know what? It's all good around here. Shron says lemon. Christopher says, I'll take both. Lime is good with tequila. Yep, yes it is, sir. All right, so shout them out right now. Who is your favorite player in the NFL? I got one more question for you, and then guess what? We will get into today's mailbag. We will get into today's show. But who's your favorite player in the league right now? And I'll always say this, just because he's your favorite player, it doesn't always have to be on your team necessarily. Like growing up when I was a kid, I love Drew Brees. I'm not a Saints fan. I just respected Brees' game. The fact that the Chargers didn't want him, he goes down to New Orleans right after Hurricane Katrina and just plays really solid football. Nobody gave him a chance, thought he was a little bit undersized. So for that reason, I've always been a big Drew Brees fan. Baker Mayfield from Unk. We have Poke says, favorite player is Easy E. All right, DK Metcalf from Christopher. Justin Jefferson from Caden. Sarah Otto says Carr. Another Justin Jefferson coming in here. Devontae Adams from I'm Punchy. Tom Brady, Aaron Donald, Jason Kelce, Joe Burrow. Easy E from Poke. Derek Carr from Juan. Josh Allen from Miguel. Matthew Stafford from Nick. All right, y'all. It is getting close now to get into this mailbag, so remember, use hashtag NFL or you can super chat. Get those questions and comments on the show. The way that we do our mailbags around here, has anybody been to Disney? If not, think of a super chat as being able to skip the line. If 30 people in the chat are using hashtag NFL to get those questions on the show, you can wait in line. That's fine, but if you send in a super chat, you jump the line and you guarantee your question here on the show. So it can be a question, it can be a comment. It's totally up to you, but we are getting ready now to get into a mailbag. So coming up here on live, first, we'll do a mailbag for about 10 minutes. Then we'll get into the latest NFL news and rumors. If you're wondering who are some of the big-name players that got released today, don't worry, we have a cut tracker. Then we'll do another mailbag. That'll be the end of the show on YouTube. And then we're going to go to Rumble After Hours, where I break down my top 10 NFL cut and trade candidates. So if that sounds good to y'all, please like the video right now. I'm going to get a sip of water, and then we are going to get into today's mailbag. We had 111 people tuning in. Christopher, Renee, Monty Peters. Is that Pokey Green Ninja? Am I pronouncing that right? I see Pokey, and I initially go to Pokemon. Also, bigger fan of Pokemon than Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know. Maybe Blue Eyes White Dragon, though. That was the shit. Does anybody else play those card games when you were a kid? Or an adult? Totally up to you. All right, y'all. You ready to get into today's show? I sure hope so. Coming up right now, our first NFL mailbag on today's live show. If you're looking for great Chat Sports content that's 100% free, give us a follow on Rumble, which you can see at rumble.com/NFL Daily, or you can subscribe to us on YouTube at youtube.com/chatsportstv. Hit the sub button, follow us on Rumble. At the end of the day, man, it's all about providing free content. So coming up right now, we're going to get into a mailbag. This is the opportunity for y'all to ask me questions by using hashtag NFL, or you can super chat. First one's coming in here from Chualor. What is the 49ers' weakness? This might be a very unpopular opinion. I think right now their weakness is quarterback. I'm not a Trey Lance believer. People are going to hate on me for that. That's totally fine. I think that if right now Trey Lance has high upside, I'm not going to disagree with you there. But when you look at this roster from top to bottom, this is a win-now roster. And if Jimmy Garoppolo was there, I would actually have them listed as more wins now than what they have with Trey Lance. Is it a weakness? Yes. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but again, I'm not a believer in Trey Lance. Let's go to Trunier Estrada. What up, bro? Should the Patriots trade for Darius Slayton? I'm going to say no. I think when you think about New England, they already have their core guys. They got Jacoby Myers. They have their brand new receiver in Devontae Parker. I could actually see them moving on from somebody like a Nelson Agholor. The issue with Darius Slayton is, I know that there's a lot of rumors around him potentially getting dealt. I am going to sit up here and say that I believe that Slayton gets cut, that nobody trades for him, because 7th round pick maybe is what I believe he's worth. What up, King Seahawk? What players could be breakout candidates or disappointments in fantasy this year? Love this question. Personally, one of my favorite breakout stars, and when I think of breakout, I'm talking like a league winner, somebody who really, really could just put you over the top, kind of like what Jonathan Taylor did last season. Now, if you're looking for more sleepers, my favorite sleepers are Pacheco, the running back from the Chiefs, also Romeo Doubs, wide receiver from Green Bay. But some breakout candidates, I'll say Allen Lazard deserves to be in that list. The fact that Devontae Adams isn't there anymore, he's going to be the number one receiver in Green Bay. If he gets 150 targets from Aaron Rodgers, there's going to be a lot of production there. I'll also look at a player like, I think Josh Jacobs could win some people leagues. If he gets as much work, like if he gets 250 carries on this Raiders offense, he's going to be a really tough guy to defend. Now, definitely has some injury issues, there's no doubt about it. From a disappointment standpoint, I think Tyreek Hill's numbers are going to go drastically down because he's not going to have Patrick Mahomes. I think Patrick Mahomes' numbers could actually go down here a little bit. And then I would say also at maybe running back, a guy that I am just scared to get anywhere near is Christian McCaffrey because of the injury concerns around him. Now, we talked about some of these quarterbacks. I said Patrick Mahomes, he's not my favorite quarterback. But I want to know from everyone who's tuning in right now to NFL Daily, who is your favorite QB? When you think of all of them from top to bottom, I would say right now in the league, I'm a Raider guy, so I'm going to rep with Carr because I know he helps out the team put up some W's. But in terms of what QBs I love watching the most, I love watching Josh Allen play right now. He is unbelievably entertaining to me. Joe Burrow, the command, and then I'm not a fan of Brady all that much, but you have to be able to respect the fact that this man is 45 years old, still going out there putting up some ridiculous numbers. Clarence says Carr. Jalen Hurts from currently rebranding. Let's go to Dolphin SFV. Are you a believer in the Dolphins this season? Yes and no. I think the Dolphins have a good team. I really, truly believe that. Their defense is probably middle of the road, but on the offensive side of the football, to me, they have a top 10 offense from a skill position standpoint. I'm a big fan of Mike Gesicki. I love Jalen Waddle. Tyreek Hill's an absolute freak. But for those of you that know, I don't like Tua. Tua, to me, is not going to work out. I know there's a lot of hype around Skylar Thompson. I'm not saying to put Skylar Thompson over Tua, but Tua is going to be the Achilles heel of this team. And even if Miami's able to win 8-9 games, if you had a top 15 QB, the Dolphins, to me, would almost be a lock to make the playoffs. UNC Panthers Sports, what's up, guy? Will the Lions make the playoffs? No. I'm sorry. I know there's a lot of attention around them because of Hard Knocks, and you get close to the team. And Detroit's always going to be a team that I root for because they just seem to be like the little brother in the NFL where nobody really takes them serious. Now, the NFC North is a weak division. I don't think that they're better than Minnesota. I don't think that they're better than Green Bay. They might be better than Chicago, and for the Lions to not finish last in that division, you could probably consider that a win. But if they get more than 6-7 wins, I'll be shocked. Now, y'all, I know a lot of y'all are going to be watching this video on YouTube, but remember, we also make content over on Rumble. The reason why I like our content on Rumble, it's ad-free, and when you're listening to a YouTube video and you put that video in your pocket, it ends the show. On Rumble, you can put it in your pocket and you can listen to it like a podcast. For me personally, that's the number one thing that I like about this place. Rumble.com/NFL Daily. Let's go to Miguel. What up, man? What punter will the Bills sign? I actually don't know. I thought that they worked out a guy. I saw Marquette King tweeting at him like, I'm ready to win a ring. At the end of the day, man, punters are going to punt. I will be curious. The punter that was just released by Denver today, I can't think of his name. Who is it? Brett Kern's a good punter name. There's another guy. Whoever the Broncos released, that's definitely someone to keep in mind. But for the Bills, hopefully you don't have to punt all that much, right? Super chat time. What up, Jose? DC, Mitch, Raiders 13-3. What about the other game? Remember, there's 17 games now, Jose. Does that mean they're going 14-3 or 13-4? I would love for that to happen, obviously. However, with the offensive line concerns, with the defensive tackle concerns that I have for the Silver and Black, I still have them at a 10-7 record. Tough schedule, no doubt about it. But with over $20 million in salary cap space, only 4 teams can say that. As it stands right now, there is still a lot of room for growth for the Raiders. What up, Dolphin SFV? Friendly reminder, use hashtag NFL down in the comments to get those questions and comments on the show, or you can super chat like Jose just did. Let's go to Dole again. What do you think Cleveland does with Kareem Hunt? Here's the thing. Just because Hunt requested to be traded doesn't mean it's going to happen. The Browns want to win right now. And if I know that I'm not going to have Deshaun Watson through the first 11 weeks of the season, I'm going to try to really run the football even more. Nick Chubb is an incredible running back. He also has had some injury concerns throughout his career. So you're in win-now mode. When you made that deal for Deshaun Watson, the Browns are in win-now mode. They have a very good, complete team. So to me, I don't think that he gets traded yeah, a team could be interested. $6.25 million. He's going to remain a Brown as far as I'm concerned. So a lot of people had the Browns potentially as a Super Bowl sleeper. The fact that Watson's not going to be playing until Week 12 against the Houston Texans, you want proof that the NFL cares about money? There you go. There's a great example. But I'm not going to have the Browns in the Super Bowl this year. I'm sorry. However, there's I would say legitimately 10 teams out there that I could make an argument for saying, hey, this team has a chance to win the Super Bowl, which that might be the most that I've seen in quite some time. So a lot of really good competition. Who's going to win the Super Bowl this upcoming year? If I don't get to your question during our NFL live show, always remember, I'm available on Twitter. I'm available on Instagram. You can always hit me up, slide in my DMs at MitchellRenz365. I know that it's easy to be able to connect with people like Everett, Carlos, James Hollister when we're doing these live shows. It's even easier, though, to get in contact with me on social media. After all, it is 2022. What up, Adam? Which NFL player gets cut that might be a surprise? Good question here. So when you say, surprise, I could say somebody like Jimmy Garoppolo is a player that I believe gets cut. Is that a surprise? Maybe not, because there's been so many rumors around it. However, somebody who is as good as Jimmy Garoppolo would be surprising. I'll throw out a name like Denzel Mims. I don't think he gets traded. I think the Jets just end up cutting him. Darius Slayton is absolutely another name to keep in mind there. Chuck Clark, I don't think he gets cut. Could be another player, though, that gets dealt. What up, Evan? You're next up here, my guy. Trade Alexander Mattison for Austin Hooper. Titans laugh in your face and say no. I do think that the Titans could be a team that's potentially interested in Mattison. And on Monday, there was a report that came out that apparently over 12 teams have called the Vikings or have shown some interest in the backup running back to Dalvin Cook. With the new regime there in Minnesota with Kevin O'Connell, Mattison just doesn't quite fit with what they're trying to do. They have Ty Chandler, they have Kenny as well behind Dalvin. But no, this trade doesn't help out Tennessee whatsoever. Alec G, Cincinnati making it back to the Super Bowl, or is it finally Josh Allen's time to shine? I think it's Josh Allen's time to shine. I hate sitting up here and, looking at favorites and odds and all that stuff, but the Bills to me are extremely complete team right now from top to bottom. And then I think Josh Allen is legitimately the best quarterback in the NFL from an overall talent standpoint. Yeah, I'm still going to bet on Mahomes. The Chiefs are a tough team. I think the AFC West, literally anyone can come out from there, but this is going to be Josh Allen's time. However, Cincinnati is no slouch. And I know that the Super Bowl hangover is a real thing, but there is something about Joe Burrow when he's in that huddle, when he's in that locker room, that he's about as cool, calm, and collected as it freaking comes. And for that reason, I don't think they make it back, but I don't think that they're going to have a bad season by any stretch of the imagination. All right, y'all, friendly reminder again, we're going to be doing our NFL Daily After Hours show. That's going to be coming up here in probably about 30 minutes from now. Dwayne Porter, I see your super chat. We will get to that in the next mailbag. So what's going to happen here is this. We're going to go through the latest NFL news and rumors that happened today. Then we'll do another mailbag. So, Dwayne, that's where I'll answer your question. And then when we go on from there, we will do one more mailbag and then end the show here on YouTube and go to NFL After Hours on Rumble. So who wants a shout out here on NFL Daily? We got 173 people tuning in. If that's you, spam me right now. So Pokey, Mr. Sports, Carlos Williams, Nick, I see you guys in the comments. Who wants a shout out? Come on, Junior. Go. Nick just sent in a $5 super chat. Cheers to you, Nick. You're my guy. Sarah Otto, so far today's MVPs. Jose Delgado, Dwayne Porter, Nick Nikavoski. Did I get that right? Nikavoski? Is it right, Nick? I don't know. Sick whip, though. We got Robert Bruce, Uptown Dre, David Martinez, currently rebranding. Bob Smith, Evan Hinders, Goat, Uptown, Rome, Everett Whitman. Goat again, Bob. Cheers to all of y'all watching NFL Daily. Coming up right now, we're about to get into the latest NFL news and rumors. We're going to talk about some trades that happened today. We're going to talk about some trade rumors. And if you're looking for some notable names that did end up getting cut, I promise you, you're in the right place. You're watching NFL Daily. Coming up right now here, we're going to get into some NFL news. Going to get into some NFL trade rumors, a trade that happened today. And if you're looking for a big name cut tracker, you're in the right place. So to make sure that you never miss any news and rumors going on around the National Football League, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, because not only will we keep you updated, it's free content, and if it's really big news, we go live. So seriously, I promise you, you're going to love your content here around Chat Sports. So coming up again, NFL news, NFL rumors. I will start the show off by probably the biggest thing that I saw today was just the fact that Commanders running back Brian Robinson posted on his Instagram story that he's doing okay. I saw the story yesterday. I was like, oh, man, I hope this young man's all right, because I liked him as a running back prospect. I thought he was going to be the best back in Washington. But good news, it does sound like he's okay. This is a tweet from Ian Rappaport. Commanders coach Ron Rivera says running back Brian Robinson is in a really good place after being the victim last night in an attempted robbery. Some notes, could be released from the hospital today. He's doing as well as possible given the circumstances. More on the Robinson news. He was shot in the glute and the lower leg. Sources say both non-life-threatening. Football is not important here, but since we cover football, Robinson has not been ruled out for playing of some point this season. So all I want you guys to do right now, football's great. Life is always going to trump that, no doubt about it. So everyone type BR in the comment section right now. Show some love to Brian. I don't know if he comes across this video. I don't know if somebody who knows Brian Robinson comes across this video, but if you do, send it to him, because us here at Chat Sports are hoping him a fast and speedy recovery. I just want to see him back out there on the football field, chasing his dream, doing what he likes to do. But this does show y'all, appreciate life. Make sure you tell those loved ones every day how much you do care about them. So also, we did get a trade that went down like right before we started today's live show. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they traded away wide receiver Laviska Shenault Jr. to the Panthers, and this has been a man that we have talked about multiple times on Chat Sports Programming, because the moment that you get a brand new head coach, Doug Peterson, okay, different regime here, right? Then you sign Christian Kirk to just a stupid big-time deal. You also brought in Zay Jones. You have Marvin Jones on top of that. So what exactly happens for Laviska? He gets a brand new start elsewhere, and he heads on over to Carolina, which takes me to our next segment here, kinda. There was a lot of trade rumors that happened today, right? And I mean lots and lots of trade rumors that ended up going down. Darius Slayton is a name to keep in mind here, and the Giants have gotten calls about him. At least that's the report from Rappaport. I'm always a believer that the day before 53-man roster cuts, if there's somebody on a bubble, sometimes NFL teams, NFL organizations, they start leaking stuff and hope that they don't have to cut them, that a team will be like, oh, okay, maybe I can just get a deal done here. And at $2.6 million is the cap hit. If you save by cutting him, it's $2.54. So yes, you can save some money, and I like Slayton. He's a good overall player to me, no doubt about it. The issue is there is quite a bit of depth there for the New York Giants. You got a brand new head coach sitting there, so I get the idea of moving on from him. If a trade happens, cool. It's going to be a late-round pick as far as I'm concerned. If it doesn't happen, though, probably ends up getting cut. And he knows this, man. Like, he's not a dumb player. Slayton was asked on being cut. This is a direct quote. I don't think surprise is the word. I don't think I would be surprised now. I don't know. Every year, it's kind of like my fourth time doing this. I don't know. I don't really stress about it too much. At the end of the day, if it's meant for me to be here, I'll be here. If it's not, I won't be. So let's just say, hypothetically speaking, the trade rumors are legit. Here are some destinations that I believe Slayton could end up going to, whether he's cut or whether he's traded. The Baltimore Ravens, Chicago Bears, Detroit Lions, Atlanta Falcons, and then the Houston Texans. So will Giants wide receiver Darius Slayton be cut, or will he be traded? Cut or traded? Is he going to be a member of the team? Y for yes, and for no. Let me know what you guys are thinking. For me personally, again, not going to be traded. Probably just going to end up getting cut. So if that happens also, we have an amazing Giants channel here on YouTube. My guy, Marshall Green, he'll do everything in his power to make sure you guys are staying up to date. Let's go to the next trade rumors here that I saw circulating. This one's around the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the report is that Tampa Bay is considering offensive line trades, which realistically should not surprise anyone. The amount of people that they have lost on the interior of their offensive line is sad and makes me wonder if Tom Brady is really sure that he wants to come back and play for this team. Also, the fact that Ali Marpet retired and then Alex Kapp left for free agency, The strength of this Buccaneers team, I get it. Wide receivers are great. Tom Brady's really good. But Brady has always struggled. Most quarterbacks have when they get pressure in their face. And if Brady at 45 years old doesn't have a good offensive line that can block for him, I don't think you're going to see similar production whatsoever. So when I think about, okay, who are some players out there that Tampa could potentially trade for, I think Alex Leatherwood of the Raiders, Andre Dillard from the Eagles, Isaiah Wynn, all these players have been linked to trade rumors. Gabe Jackson from Seattle, Kendrick Green from Pittsburgh, and then Jalen Mayfield, offensive guard from the Atlanta Falcons. These are 6 names to absolutely keep in mind in terms of if the Buccaneers wanted to make a deal, who is available, and who could ultimately get a deal done. Now, today's show, y'all, is presented by our awesome sportsbook partner, BetUS. If you want to make a deal on any game this upcoming season, you want to bet on over-unders, some spreads, who's going to win the Super Bowl, NFL MVP, BetUS has it all for you. All you got to do, go to the link that you see below, chatsports.com/bet. Promo code NFL Daily is going to get you 125% deposit bonus, which means if you put down $100, you're actually going to get $125 for free to bet with. If you want to look at the latest Week 1 odds, because this is where I've been betting, personally, the game that you see on screen right now, that at least has me the most intrigued. I'm telling y'all right now, I'm going to take the Ravens -7. I get it, they're on the road against the Jets, but that's Joe Flacco, and they're the Baltimore Ravens. So that's a game that I'm taking. Also, another game to keep in mind, I like the 49ers -7.5. Chicago, not a good football team whatsoever. Some other games here. One game that I'm scared to touch is that Colts game, because those interdivision games always scare the hell out of me. But the game that I'm going to be targeting from this slate right here, Buccaneers -1 against Dallas. Give me Tampa Bay every single day of the week. And also, give me the Raiders +3. Also, we did just get some breaking news that just went down. Here's one's coming in from Ian Rappaport. The 49ers and quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo are finalizing a new contract that will make him the highest paid backup in the NFL. A solution that keeps Jimmy G on the roster while making it clear it's Trey Lance's team going forward. Pretty surprising stuff. I know there was a lot of rumors that Garoppolo wasn't going to be on the team, but it looks like the deal got done, which I do think was the smart thing for San Francisco to do, because just cutting him was definitely not intelligent. So you keep him on the roster, he's going to be the backup to Trey Lance. However, if Trey Lance plays bad, can't wait to hear those Jimmy Garoppolo put him in the game chance. Let's go to the running back room now for Minnesota. Alexander Mattison. Could a trade happen with him? Because a report came out today that the Vikings have been listening to offers, which really shouldn't surprise too many people, because you brought in a brand new regime with Kevin O'Connell, Ty Chandler, Kenny Wanu. Simply are just better fits, and the fact that this guy doesn't fit the system, he could run between the tackles. And if there's teams out there that still value running backs between the tackles instead of guys that can catch the football, then okay, he's somebody to look at, no doubt about it. And according to Dov Kleiman, I'm still not convinced he's a real person, he said that apparently like 12 people or 12 teams have shown interest in Mattison. If I were to bet right now what teams would be the most interested, I'm going to say Baltimore, New England, Seahawks, Titans, and the Washington Commanders. Those would be the top teams. Also, depending on the exact structure, you could actually see Garoppolo's deal. I'm seeing something like $8.5 million. Once we get more details on that, though, if it does happen, we'll keep you up to date. Another trade that might happen, we've seen some conflicting reports out there. It was reported that the Cowboys are attempting to trade for Jets offensive tackle Chuma Edoga. However, it also has been said now that this trade isn't going to happen. At the end of the day, if it does, we'll keep you up to date. But if it doesn't, I guarantee you Tom Downey over on our Cowboys Report channel, he'll definitely make sure to make a video about it. Coming up next here on NFL Daily, NFL Cut Tracker. And when cuts start happening, I always want to know who are some of the big name guys. Who are some of the names that, all right, this guy's out there, could the team that I like potentially go out and get them? So I got 10 names to keep in mind. The first name coming up here is Jaquiski Tartt. Played for Philadelphia, played for San Francisco. Was pretty surprised that he was let go. Jack Cohn, quarterback from the Indianapolis. This one doesn't surprise me, but he is more of a name that some people know. Old quarterback there in Notre Dame. Sony Michel was let go today by the by the Miami Dolphins. Laquan Treadwell, former first-round pick, let go by Jacksonville. Sam Martin, I actually thought he was like a top 6 punter last season in the league. He's no longer available. Could be a potential name to keep in mind for the Buffalo Bills. Tyree Gillespie, he was let go by Tennessee just like a week after the Raiders traded him to Tennessee. Keelan Doss, Adrian Colbert, Brett Kern, and then we'll round it out with Mohamed Sanu. Here's a little bit more updates here on this whole 49ers Jimmy Garoppolo thing. Again, finalizing the new contract. It sounds like the Garoppolo deal, though, has been restructured to a 1-year, $7 million deal guaranteed with a maximum value of $16 per year. So if he gets $16 million, he would then technically be the highest paid backup in the NFL. All right, y'all, it's going to be mailbag time again here on NFL Daily. Shout out to everyone who's tuning in right now. After Hours show is coming up here in about 15 minutes, so please stay tuned. What's going to happen now is we're going to get into another mailbag. So if you have a question for me, if you have a comment, if you have anything whatsoever, use hashtag NFL, or you can super chat, get those questions here answered on our live show. Let me get a sip of water real quick. Jose, Dwayne, Nick, Christopher, I see you down in the comments. Appreciate you watching. If you sent in a super chat, we will make sure that we hit that at the top of today's show. We got 270 people tuned in. Can we get 100 likes on this video? I'm not good at math, but something's not adding up there. So if you haven't already, please hit that like button. It goes a long, long way when you run a free channel here at Chat Sports. You're watching NFL Daily, and it is mailbag time. Mitchell Renz, Chat Sports, ready and eager to answer all y'all's questions. Friendly reminder that this video was recorded on Monday, so if some stuff happens, don't shoot the messenger, as they say. But use hashtag NFL or super chat, get those questions, comments on the show. This first one is coming in here from Dwayne Porter. Does Vegas cut or trade Leatherwood? What's most likely? Neither. I think the most likely thing to happen for the Raiders is they just keep him. Now, cutting him doesn't make sense because you essentially eat like $8 million. That doesn't make sense. However, if a team's willing to offer you a 4th-round pick for Leatherwood, I do think you take it, because if he's on the Raiders team this year and everyone remains healthy on that offensive line, I do not anticipate he sees a single snap on offense. Maybe special teams, but that's not what you draft somebody in the 1st round for. What up, Chris? Will we sign a defensive tackle with Lancaster done like Richardson? Personally, I really wasn't surprised that Lancaster didn't make the team. When I did my final 53-man roster projection video, I didn't have him making it, so him doesn't really impact it. When you look at the Raiders roster, you got Bilal Nichols, Jonathan Hankins, then you got your 2 rookies in Neil Farrell Jr., Matthew Butler. Do they keep somebody like Kyle Petco? Perhaps. I do think they keep Andrew Billings, but to me, the Raiders have one of the weakest defensive interiors in the NFL, so Richardson's a name, and Ndamukong Suh, Linval Joseph, they need interior help, no doubt about it. UNC Panther Sports, I got the Jacksonville Jaguars winning the AFC South with Trevor Lawrence MVP. I'll tell you what, I don't know what the payout of that is, but that's got to be a hell of a payout. For Trevor Lawrence to win the NFL MVP, I do think that they would absolutely win the AFC South. What do you think, he's going to throw for 40 touchdowns? That's just, they don't have the receiving core for that to happen. To me, Jacksonville, if you can win 6 games this year, that's good. I like Trevor Lawrence. 6 games would be the goal for Jacksonville. Mr. Sports, who will be backup quarterback to Jared Goff, David Blau or Tim Boyle? Either one is super vanilla, dude. This is one of those questions where I'm like, all right, you go to Ben & Jerry's. You can get any ice cream flavor you want. Jared Goff is chocolate. David Blau's vanilla. Tim Boyle is strawberry. And you're just leaving all these amazing flavors out there. Who's going to be the backup quarterback? Go ask Micro Mike on YouTube. That's my answer. What up, Sloppy Slimy? Could the Browns trade Kareem Hunt to the Commanders in wake of the Brian Robinson news? It's an interesting thing to think about. I don't think that they trust Antonio Gibson whatsoever. You still have J.D. McKissick, who's an interesting pass-catching running back. The question is, do the Commanders really truly believe that Kareem Hunt would be a good fit with them? I'm not necessarily sure. No doubt Kareem's got some off-the-field baggage that he's had in previous seasons, which is why the Chiefs let go of him. And if I'm the Commanders, maybe I don't want to bring that in because of all the issues I've had with my owner. Do I think he would help, though? Yes. Yes, I do. Do I think that that team right now maybe makes the most sense in terms of giving up the money? Also, yes. So, y'all, I don't know about y'all. I'm from Danville, Pennsylvania. Shout out to the 570. I would love to be able to take a trip back to my hometown, but you know what? Sometimes, unfortunately, we just can't have that happen. So all I want you to do right now, shout out your hometown, whether you're from the East Coast, West Coast, North, South. Shout out your hometown. I see Pokey's from Fort Lauderdale. Then the RC Plane Builders from the ATL. Seriously, shout it out. Shout it to the 570. Let's go to the next super chat coming in here from Jose Delgado. Mitch, after the 53-man roster, do the Raiders have the chance to get a offensive right tackle, I believe is what you're going with here? Do they have a chance? Yes, absolutely. Should they? Yes, absolutely. And I do think a lot of times what you see with some NFL veterans in today's league, they wait until those 53-man roster cuts are made, and then they're like, okay, your moves have been made. I know what teams need me. I know what teams don't need me. And then that's when you sometimes see teams, they get desperate, and they're willing to offer a little bit extra money. If I'm the Raiders right now, though, I do not like the right side of my offensive line. It kind of frustrates me that they haven't done many things to change that. With a guy like Darrell Williams out there, make the move, make it happen. He can play guard. He can play tackle. He's by far the best offensive lineman as far as I'm concerned, still available. What up, Bevan? In fantasy, it's PPR. Should I get Trey Lance or Tua? I will say this. I don't know what PPR has to do with quarterbacks because neither of these guys are going to catch the football all that much. But I don't know why you're choosing between Trey Lance or Tua. Like, if you're in a 12-man league, I'm not going to try to get either of these guys because, to me, neither of these players are going to finish as a top 12 quarterback. But if you're like, you know what, man, I want to be the last person in my league to draft a quarterback, and these are the two, I'm probably going to pick Tua over Trey Lance. However, I do think Trey Lance has the higher upside because of his legs and because of his ability to actually run with the football. Now, not only do we make videos on YouTube, we provide free content over on Rumble as well. And if you're watching this live, we're going to be doing a Rumble after-hours show, so if you don't want to miss that, go to rumble.com/NFL Daily. Let's go to the next one. Coming in here, it's a super chat from Taylor Holland. If you're the Bucs, would you go for Jenkins or Wynn to move to guard? And if you flipped Herbert and Trevor Lawrence, would they have the same success? So you're saying Tevin Jenkins or Isaiah Wynn. If I'm the Buccaneers, I actually think Tevin Jenkins helps you out more because to me, Tevin Jenkins is more of a guard than Isaiah Wynn. However, I don't think that the Bears move on from Jenkins anymore. It looks like he's been playing pretty well. Isaiah Wynn, you would owe him $10.4 million in the final year of his contract. He's a tackle, though. Could he play interior? Maybe. But you're going to take a chance on a guy you're giving $10.4 and draft capital for. Don't know if that makes a lot of sense. And then flipped Herbert and Trevor Lawrence. I'll say yes and no. I still think I have watched Herbert play, and Herbert to me has shown that he is a top 7 quarterback in the league. His arm strength is there. His playmaking ability is there. But I do think Lawrence would have a lot more success if he was with the Chargers, and I do think Herbert would have a lot less success if he was with Jacksonville. E-Boy44, is Caleb McFarley going to get cut or traded? No, man, he's not. Like, I understand there's a lot of people that are frustrated with him because when you look at his tape from Virginia Tech, he looked like he could be one of the best cornerbacks in the league. Like, his athletic ability, his start-stop, he was incredible to me. When he first came out, I'm not kidding you, I was like, this kid reminds me a little bit of a Jalen Ramsey, somebody who I really, truly thought could take away a side of the field. The injuries are just really, really slowing him down. And even though this team has a lot of depth at the cornerback position, young depth, no, not going to get cut, and I don't think he gets traded either. But speaking of Farley, because if he did get cut, I'll tell you what, man, it would be a surprise. There's no doubt about that. So I want you to name a player that you believe right now could be a surprise cut or trade candidate with roster cuts coming up here on Tuesday at, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, August 30th. The Elite, Skylar Thompson, QB2. I agree. Like, not that I'm going to rip on Teddy Bridgewater because Bridgewater to me is a quarterback that I like a lot. But if I was Miami and I saw how Skylar Thompson just played, and I know I have a backup quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater, I would look at Bridgewater as a trade piece. Like, Tua, you got to figure out what he is. Thompson has shown me that, yet again, in a great preseason game, throws for 3 touchdowns, he can be a reliable backup. He's understanding this McDaniel offense. So you move on from Bridgewater in wake of the news that Jimmy Garoppolo isn't going anywhere, because what if there was a team that was hoping, relying on the fact that, hey, we might be able to get Jimmy G. That's not going to happen anymore. Trade Bridgewater for a 5th-round pick. That's better than nothing, because if both of those guys are just sitting on the back of your bench, I don't know if it really helps you out all that much, man. So seriously, get free content from Chat Sports. Subscribe, hit that big red button, or give us a follow over on Rumble. Both of these links will be available for y'all in the comments and in the description of today's video. Hopefully you enjoy our content here. Let's go to, wow, boy. Crazy, is it Crazy Blade? Is the Sony Michel cut bad? Not necessarily. I think it just comes down to Mike McDaniel having a lot of running back depth. Also, Michel, he was traded to Los Angeles last year. He's had a lot of knee issues since coming out of Georgia. I just think it comes down to they have a lot of depth. They don't think he's really healthy all that much, and maybe they just simply didn't like what they saw. So, no, not really think it's a bad move. What up, Doorman? Rank the second-year quarterbacks. Oh, boy. So, my answer changes based on fantasy compared to just, like, straight-up quarterback play. Because, I'll say this. If it's fantasy, I'm always looking at overall upside, especially in a second-year quarterback. But when it really comes down to these guys here, Davis Mills is probably going to be last for me. Trevor Lawrence, let me go through all the names real quick here. Justin Fields is the guy that I like the most. However, he's in by far the worst situation. I'll say Mac Jones is probably going to win you the most games. Trey Lance is on the second-best team, so we'll go with him. I'll say Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, and then Davis Mills. But if I could pick out of any of the quarterbacks that I'd want to build a team around, I'd probably pick Justin Fields. He's just on a terrible team, man. Let's go to Lance. What up, Lance? Which teams would likely trade for Alexander Mattison? It's a good question. I would say right now in the wake of the news around Brian Robinson, the Commanders actually make some sense to me. I've had a few people ask me if the Raiders would because of the connections with Kennedy Palomalu, who was the old Vikings running backs coach. He's now with the Silver and Black. The Raiders have plenty of running back depth, so I don't know if that necessarily makes a lot of sense. I'll say Miami. Like, the fact that Miami moved on from Sony Michel, he fits what Mike McDaniel would try to do, so that's a team to keep in mind. Tampa Bay could be a team to keep in mind. Trying to think of some other teams. Seattle with Rashad Penny's injury, so maybe that's just a few names to keep in mind there. All right, since we're talking about running backs, Kareem Hunt usually always gets brought up here in terms of trade, so I wanted to ask y'all, will Kareem Hunt get traded? Why for yes and for no? I'm going to still sit up here and say that I do not believe it's going to happen. However, I do know a lot of people are going to disagree with me. Boomer Miller, can the Chiefs get Robert Quinn? Can they? Yeah. Those two organizations have always had some ties with Chiefs and Chicago. Do I think it's a need for them? Not necessarily. Does it help? Yeah, absolutely in this division. The team that I think is the most likely, though, from that division to get Robert Quinn, I will say the Raiders because of the connection with Champ Kelly. Next question coming in here is from Alec G. Any chance Sue goes back to Detroit? If Detroit's willing to pay him, yes. I think at this point in Sue's career, he's already won a Super Bowl. He's looking to get paid. And if the report's out there that he's looking for $9 million, if Detroit was like, hey, I'll give you 10, then yes, I think he would go to Detroit. I just think he's trying to get the bag at this point of his career. Another team, though, that's been connected to Ndamukong Suh absolutely has been the Las Vegas Raiders. And if anybody wants to join my amazing locals community, you can scan this QR code right here. You're going to get free exclusive content from us. You're also going to get content that's not free, that you got to pay a membership for, but it's like insider info. If you want to see a video that I put out last week about roster bubble candidates with cuts coming up, you can check that out. If anybody out there loves fantasy football, I did my stat projections for Devontae Adams and Derek Carr. They're going to surprise a lot of people. That's all I got to say. So if you want to join, it's Raidersport.locals.com. Super chat time. This one's coming in from Nick. What up, man? Should Bengals trade Boyd or Higgins for an offensive lineman? No. I thought Cincinnati actually did a pretty good job this offseason of realizing, all right, this is what was our biggest weakness, O-line, and I thought that they went out and they addressed it. Your offense, you do not take any key position players away from Joe Burrow. You are in win-now mode, and you have arguably the best receiver core from top to bottom, and also in terms of depth, and you have one of the best young quarterbacks in the league. So for that, I'll say no. All right, y'all, we're getting ready to end today's show here on YouTube and hop over to Rumble. What I want you to do right now, if you want to shout out, is shout out your favorite NFL team. Who's repping in the comments section? Because so far today's MVPs have been Jose Delgado, Dwayne Porter, Nick, Christopher Leonard. We got Taylor Holland. Major shout out to all y'all. Sarah Otto says Raiders. We got Sterling, Eagles, Verb, Falcons. Got another super chat coming in, which we will get to here. Sterling, Eagles, Flaming Finn, Miami. Thumbs up to Bob Smith, crazy. Let's go to a super chat here real quick. What up, Taylor? Dalton Reisner for Isaiah Wynn straight up. Should Denver go for an inside linebacker? Personally, I think the linebacker that they should try to get is Kenny Young. So Kenny Young played for Denver last season. He was let go by the Raiders. I actually thought it was a little bit of a surprising move that they made. Also, I think Alexander Johnson is a name that they should try to bring back. But Dalton Reisner for Isaiah Wynn straight up, personally, I believe that New England says no to that deal. But, hey, what do I know? All right, guys, our next segment coming up here is exclusively on Rumble. I appreciate everyone who took time out of their day to watch us on YouTube. If you're not over on Rumble, please make sure you go over there right now. We'll put that link for y'all in the chat. But it's rumble.com/NFL Daily. We always like to do Rumble after-hour shows where we can be hot, spicy, takey, and at the end of the day, just give you guys a little bit more content. So the show here is going to end on YouTube, and I'm going to hop over on Rumble. I'm going to do a countdown of 5, 4, 3, 2,